All right, Cassie, let's take a look at your paper. Start off with MLA format first. So up here, this is correct. Everything here is correct. I'm not sure if you obviously forgot, but you did forget to put a title in there. So obviously you want a creative title to go in there, so make sure you do that as well. After that, you start off with a bunch of statistics, which technically isn't wrong, but you have a couple kind of a plain sentence right here and then some statistics on today. 6.7 million kids taking online classes, so it's not bad. It's kind of boring, but it's not bad. Then you get into many students prefer online classes instead of normal face-to-face classes for various reasons, which is the topic of your paper. Sort of the I'm assuming causes of kids to take what causes kids to take online classes. So you have your topic here. The problem is you should have two more things left in your introduction. Introduce your main points, and then you need a solid thesis statement, and that thesis is going to be your message of the paper. What is your message of the paper? And that's going to tie all of your main points together. So you're missing two major things in your introduction that you're going to want to put in there. So make sure you do that when you go to rewrite the paper. Alright, so your first body paragraph is the idea that they're flexible. I don't know if you moved this from before, but your very first body paragraph, you use a transitional phrase that are also flexible. Since you haven't mentioned one yet, you probably don't need to use the word also. Plus, your topic sentence needs to be more specific. Maybe combine these two sentences together to make a really strong topic sentence. That might be a more clear topic sentence. Everything that you have in here is, really good. You obviously have done some research into this topic because this is, I know quite a bit about online classes, and you kind of check off all the things that I would say about them. The only problem that I have is, as you're going throughout this, there's no really big specific, original concept as far as I thought of the one down here about, those who spend a lot of time traveling. Maybe you could, extend that idea that, think of a guy that, is maybe a traveling salesman or travels around the country to do stuff. Give like a more specific example of the kind of people that would use online classes, or maybe somebody, since they're flexible, people that work, and since they work, they can do their time, do their classes anytime. They can rewatch lectures anytime. I don't know. Maybe frame it around a type of person, and then give these examples. I don't know. It's not super original. The information is good. And it's thorough, but it's just not super original yet, and adding a few more examples like that would be fine. And maybe even changing some of these words. I don't know. I say that, but I guess it's okay. So, not surprisingly, sorry, Cassie, but there's hardly any punctuation errors. So you had somebody really good look at your paper and really help you out, or you're just really smart, and I believe that would be true too. You need a good transition statement at the end, one that goes from this main point to this main point. As I look at your next main point about variety of classes, I can already tell, look how short this paragraph is compared to the last one. So let's see what you need to add there. Alright, so your next one is about variety of classes, and you don't have a lot of information in here. One thing that I failed to mention up here is, if any of this information, which you have 3 works cited at the end, you had 2 examples here, but any of this information is not your own information, you have to cite where you got it from. Now, I know it's not copied word for word from any website, but you obviously probably maybe went to a website or 2 to check out information. So make sure you cite if you got information from a different website. So you use these examples. Again, give me a real life example. Give me, an Alma High School example that, no, we don't offer German or American Sign Language. And maybe put some of your personality in here, Cassie, that you could talk about, how schools are offering less classes because there's less teachers and less money, and online classes give you that variety that you can't do. So maybe even tie it into a field that the person wants to go into. If they want to go into let's say, be a lawyer, maybe there's some pre-law classes that you can take online to get you ready for that. So add some more examples in here to make this paragraph longer. And again, we need a better transitional statement into the next paragraph. So this paragraph, Cassie, very similar to the first one, lots of great information, but kind of plain and no original messages. I like that you added this in down here. I think that's one thing I actually never thought of with online classes. So there you go. Is the idea that these kids can get out, move around if they have a condition. So I think that's really important to notice. Students with attention problems such as ADHD and ADD, put a comma right there, also find online classes. We can lift that right out of the sentence, and it would still make sense. So you can put a comma right there. And actually, you could actually not put a comma there at all, and that sentence would also still make sense. So either one is fine. But again, give me another example. Say so-and-so, likes, is this kind of person. They would thrive in an online class. So give another personal example. I like the idea of no group projects are forced to talk to each other. It's very anti-social, and I'd want to know what kind of student that's, really focusing on. The idea that, no, I just don't want to talk to each other. Less awkward and uncomfortable. And I kind of get that too, but there's some isolation to that as well. So make sure that you maybe address that. I would love to see a sentence here at the end that kind of summarizes not only this paragraph, but the whole body paragraphs as well, because it's obviously a very positive spin on that idea of online classes. So we get to your conclusion. Remember, in your conclusion, restate your thesis statement, which you didn't have one at the beginning, and that's why you jump right into talking about your main points in this conclusion. But look at, you have 2 sentences in your conclusion, and I said in class that I'd love to have you have at least maybe 6 or 7 sentences in each paragraph. So we obviously really want you to extend this. At the very least, you should have 5 sentences. Thesis, restate thesis, 3 main points, each get their own sentence of summary, and then some kind of clincher, and that clincher can be a couple of sentences long. You don't have all of that yet, so you're still missing quite a bit in that conclusion, and we really want to make sure that we cut down on only very short paragraphs like this. When we get to your works cited page, everything looks good except these entries that go on to the second line need to be tabbed over, and make sure you do that. Otherwise, this you would actually it technically starts with a T since it's 10, so you'd flip-flop these 2 because it has to go in alphabetical order. So go this to this to this, and again tab over the second line. So Cassie, not a bad start. There's a few things that I'd love for you to work on with organizational stuff and with more vivid examples and whatnot, but overall not a bad start. So hopefully we'll see a rewrite from you.